Hello, it's me, Jess. Welcome to my channel. I'm here with another channeled message. This is a specific message. It might resonate with you, it might not. All right, so this has kind of taken me a second to decipher this energy that I'm picking up on because it feels all jumbled and discombobulated in the feeling space. And I feel like this person is kind of I'm seeing something catching in their throat. It's like they've seen something here, and whatever they've seen, it's a tower moment, but it's a tower moment in the watery emotional space, almost as if somebody just ran and did a cannonball into some water. And I'm seeing this person just kind of frozen. And I feel like this is a feminine energy that's kind of coming through. And I don't feel she entirely understands something yet, but it's she doesn't want to say something out loud. She doesn't want to admit something out loud. I feel like she has she's in hanged man energy. So she's seen something different about herself, about the situation, and about some kind of masculine that she was dealing with. And I feel like the writing was kind of on the wall, but because her feeling space, this is a person that has a lot of feelings. And I think that this is a person who mistakenly believed that because they have a lot of feelings, that feelings are the same thing as empathy, basically, in the situation. I think that they had a lot of feelings for a masculine energy, but I think it actually was coming from some kind of trauma space, something to do with the home life. It's definitely an attachment issue that's coming through, because I'm getting this person in this almost a moon Mars energy. And that can be somebody who is they were weaned too early in regards of maybe actually they were weaned very early. But it's in terms of their love and nurturance, they felt I don't know, life was very cold early on for this person. So they're kind of greedy and very needy for love and attention and feelings. And so they kind of latched on to this particular masculine for some reason, because he flares up something to do with her inner space and her home environment. And I do feel there was a tower moment, but this is a tower moment early on, because it feels like there's been a cycle. And for some of you, there's a child or maybe even a kid here. And this person is shocked because it's just kind of come through what the reality of this situation is, because they thought that they were getting some kind of a wish fulfillment. I think that they thought that because they had feelings, and like I said, this person has a lot of feelings, for this masculine, or around this masculine, I should say, that meant that they were in love, but actually they're not. And I feel like they saw something triggering with this masculine. And if I'm being honest, I think that this person has seen multiple things. The image that's coming through for me is Gretchen Wieners and the butter your muffin guy. I can't remember his name, but it's would you like us to assign someone to butter your muffin? You know, that guy. And she was obsessed with him, right? But they were not exclusive. And the poor girl was just always seeing him hitting on other girls, going to the mall with other girls, partying with other girls. She was just always forever being shocked. And I feel like this person has had somewhat of that experience. And every time they would have that experience, it would kick up all of these feelings. But it's feelings of panic, oh no, I'm in danger. I'm this nurturing space, which this guy isn't very nurturing, right? But I feel like it mimicked some kind of love patterning in their early home environment. But it's oh no, I'm not going to, it's moon energy, right? So it's my needs aren't going to be met in a certain way. I'm at risk here. But also it could have something to do with, because the moon can have to do with your image and coming across as a loving person, or even in a mothering energy. I don't know. It's oh no, all of that is at risk every single time. But they wouldn't parse through their feelings of well, what are these feelings trying to tell me? They would just sort of impulsively act on those feelings. And I think now something has gotten through where they're realizing that was more of it is a trauma response. They were in this kind of happiness hater energy where they saw a masculine moving towards somebody else. And like I said, this could have been a repeat experience. They could have kind of impersonated that person, and they're reflecting about that, that what they were feeling wasn't love. It wasn't a soulmate connection. It was their ego being bruised. It was some kind of narcissistic injury. And I don't think this person really saw that before. I also think that they're seeing something about this masculine where they're oh, he didn't really like me. Not oh, well, he didn't have a crush on me or find me attractive or want to sleep with me. Not really that. It's oh, he didn't really like me. He found me to be needy or annoying or a bother or something. I don't know. But they're seeing him in some kind of different way. And I think that they are realizing that they, I'm picking up on this like Gretchen Wiener's energy, but they're kind of realizing that they were the Regina George. And there's something to that too, because they could have like a friend group. Cause I'm picturing the part in Mean Girls where, Gretchen stands up in her English class and she's reading her essay and she's like, Brutus is just as pretty as Caesar and he's just as cute and people like Brutus just as much as they like Caesar, and she's kind of spiraling out. So there could be somebody in their friend group where they were like, or just somebody around them and that they're kind of, or even just somebody in their mind, that they're always trying to kind of keep up with, like keeping up with the Joneses. And I think they did something here that they can't believe that they did. Like now that they're looking at it again, they're like, oh my gosh. Cause they like made up a lie or they called somebody with the gossip or, and they're kind of having to be like, whoa, wait a second. I did that, or I did that in some kind of like routine way. And they feel really bad because they feel like this person feels like they projected their own, like it's an attachment space, like their own feelings, their own fears, something that they weren't seeing. They thought that they had like a halo on their head and that they were, because they had feelings, that meant that they were like warm. But like I said, these feelings, not all feelings are created equal. I'm a very anxious person, so I'm not throwing shade when I say this, but some feelings are like neurotic and they're self-absorbed. And, just because you have a lot of feelings doesn't mean that you're like feeling for other people necessarily. And this person, because they're trapped in this like trauma space, they're constantly like feeling for themselves. And they did not recognize that they were kind of the problem here in this situation. And even if there was like a big tower moment, this person may have been able to admit in the past, like, well, I just like fell off the wagon, or I just like fell off the horse, that one time. But now they kind of can't help but see something from an entirely different perspective. And I think it is because they've had some kind of realization. They've had some kind of tower moment. It is this like moon Mars energy where I'm picturing like Mars being like thrown at the moon. It's that hot, fiery energy and it's like landed. And this person, I think, keeps getting experiences like this of catching this masculine out doing something or just it hits them in their most sensitive spot, their moon spot, because spirit is trying to get their attention, like that they have this, I just heard a weariness inside of them that they have. Yeah. Like, it could be something here to do with like a father, or that they have this like fantasy in their mind about this masculine, like being loving or something. They keep waiting for their ships to come in regards of that. But they're actually wanting to be the favorite here. They're recognizing that something here needs to change. They are feeling defensive though. They were defending their like top spot here, but now actually they just like feel alone and they feel sad. Yeah, like it feels like they were just forever trying to get something here. They were always striving for it, but it never like quite came. I feel like this person's feeling like they ruined something. What does this person feel like they ruined? King of Pentacles, 3 of Daggers. Yeah, they feel like they're in some kind of karmic bond is what I just heard. Some kind of karmic trap. And yeah. I mean, funny enough, they feel like they kind of ruined like this King of Pentacles, this like, I think this masculine that they like wanted to be with, they ruined his relationship. They're realizing that they projected all over some person here that, but really this masculine is he is abusive. Like this guy, he cheats, he's in some devil energy. So she's not the only reason why this man is like the way that he is. She's seeing the difference between him being in devil energy though and being in some kind of 10 of Cups energy. There's some kind of judgment there and she does see it. And she has been a part of that cycle. She has definitely played her part in that cycle. But if she goes away, what happens to this masculine? Oh, the Wheel of Fortune. Oh, okay. Okay. So some kind of argument and telling the truth. Okay. So there would be a change of fate. Like if she leaves or if she had left for him, I think there would have been some Wheel of Fortune energy, which is like the hand of God. Something would have changed, and it has to do with the truth about an argument. It would have like actually been clear or would have come in. And I think that feels like on her side and also on his side, because maybe they had an argument and she's having this realization about, I think she does start arguments or she starts drama in order to pull the attention back or something here. There's like a neediness. There's also a materialism to do something here about that as well. Yeah, I feel she sent him some type of message. There was a plan. Yeah, there was a plan. I feel like she wanted marriage from this man and possibly got it, but it was off at the back of some like bullying, or like she had to be the mean girl. She really did. And now she's seeing it all differently. She still feels like very defensive. Whoever this is, very defensive. I feel like she's been through a tower moment. It could have to do with like a child. Yeah, something is like coming up. She's seeing everything like so differently. She's seeing everything so differently. She didn't want to feel rejected. So there's something about like losing this masculine where she was just kind of playing out her attachment issues like with this masculine where it's like, if I can't get him, if he leaves me, there's like an abandonment issue, but there's like a fixation and a preoccupation with this guy. It does not come from a love space. He doesn't even make her feel like calm or loved or warm or anything. He actually just like agitates her. And she didn't want to have her ego bruised of feeling like this guy wants other people, but I feel like he constantly wants other people. But maybe he wanted a relationship with someone. Yeah. She could have even like stalked this man. Yeah, this is like a bruised ego. She's realizing this was like this. She was having feelings around it, and those feelings were so engulfing, like of her own like experience, that she used it to justify like her bad behavior. And she thought that she was getting some type of wish fulfillment, but actually there was like no justice in this situation. And I think she projected outwards on this, like, I think it's another feminine here that she was in competition with, some kind of quiet competition. And I do think that, okay, now I'm hearing Thais Gibson in my mind, which she is the creator of the personal development school. She's like an expert on like attachment styles. And she talks about jealousy sometimes, and she talks about it being a trauma response. And so I feel like this person had jealousy, but that jealousy was like a trauma response. And they needed to kind of go into that. And it was like an ego. Yeah, they didn't want to feel rejected. They wanted to be the queen. They didn't want to. I think this person feels like really strange or really odd or really different. Yeah. They could have been like watching something here from the outside. Yeah, I feel like this person could have done something here. Like they lied or they interfered in a way that is a very mean girl thing to do. And they did that, and now there's some type of reckoning here. They're realizing it was very cold. Also, I think this masculine's very cold. He never warmed up because he kind of went down the wrong path. I feel she's on the wrong path. I feel he's on the wrong path. But she's kind of recognizing. There's also somebody here from her past that she's recognizing that she did wrong. Yeah. She feels like maybe everything's crumbling down around her, and maybe she's being like left out in the cold or something here. She's feeling very, very defensive because it's finally, this is tough for her, whoever this is, but this is a very healing thing, because she's realizing all of a sudden she's actually seeing from an emotional lens of empathy, where she's thinking about how her actions affected other people and not just her own emotions and how she feels all like spiraling. And there is a guy here that she is realizing she feels very defensive what she did to him. And it's not this guy that she's like obsessed with. It's somebody else. That, yeah, was like kind of the real deal. And she's recognizing that. She's recognizing this guy is cold. He's in some kind of unhealthy King of Swords energy, and that's not well, and that's not correct, and that he has hurt multiple women, and he needs to not do that. And perhaps if he was left alone and allowed to go down a path with, I kind of am getting like a divine feminine energy, somebody that there was like Libran justice energy between the two of them, perhaps he would not have crushed a lot of people, because a lot of people have been hurt and caught up in this cycle here that she has been a part of, and she's recognizing this. And I think that she's also, this divine feminine has like left the scene because something here was not fair. It was not balanced. It was unjust. And I think this divine feminine felt something here got ruined, and she was hurt, and she felt rejected. So this person is realizing they just ricochet everything that they should be feeling. Like, what is the crazy thing is, if they had just lived up to their path as it came to them, yeah, it would be tower moments, but this person would have transmuted themselves and actually been on their path, and they actually would have connected with love and strength and friendship, and they would have and right now they would be looking back and they'd be like, I can't believe that I thought that person was for me, or I can't believe that I was like so up in my mind about that. You know how we do, how when you look back and you're like, I'm so glad that something didn't work out. That's the experience that they would be having. But it does feel like this person didn't. Like, they don't let things land and teach them, even when it hurts and it bruises their ego. Because you really shouldn't fear a bruising of the ego. That kind of means you're on the right track. If you just handle it gracefully and you feel the pain and you process it and you try to understand what it's telling you, you really will phoenix up out of that and like end up better off. But this person doesn't do that. This person like clings. They just like hold on to something here. And it's really, everybody is worse off because of this going on. And so she's realizing how many people had to hurt because she wouldn't just hurt where she needed to hurt. And she wouldn't let that teach her the way that it needed to teach her. And she's seeing her influence, I think, her impact. Other people here are also in the wrong. Like, it's normal to be in the wrong as a person. We're all kind of bumbling and fumbling through life. But this does feel very extreme. And this does feel like she was really in the darkness of something for a long period of time. But this has been an awakening experience. Yeah, there's inner child stuff here. She's going back now. She is piecing together like inner child stuff, trying to get like attention and stuff, and how that, I think it was like a party lifestyle that kind of like cropped up around this. I do think that she left friends out in the cold, like genuine friends. And she made herself a different person. She made herself like an entirely different person. And she is actually now, she's got a lot of like crying to do to kind of like purge certain things out. There's this impersonator energy. Who is she impersonating? She is impersonating like a Regina George type figure. And I can't tell if this is like an amalgamation of something in her mind, or if it's somebody, it's like a keeping up with the Joneses kind of a thing. If I got to be like this person, but they don't really admire or respect that person. It's really, all of this is coming from a trauma space of I've got to be like that. I've got to be like that. I've got to be like that. And so she's morphed and changed her whole personality. She's, like I said, got a lot of processing to do, like a lot of purging around the fact that she has hated on other people's happiness, has been impersonating them. There's a lot of reflecting here, but it's going to warm up, and she's going to get very curious about the person that she actually is. And she's going to be in some kind of prolonged hangman energy. She's going to realize that she operates via craving, and that it's like, she's always trying to, and then it has her split. She's thinking about something in like the teenage years or young adulthood when she went like kind of in her mind really wrong. Because she left her like, yeah, she wishes that she could have just had like regular, her friends, the people that were genuinely like there for her. Yeah. And yeah, I'm hearing, why do you like her? Yeah. Comparing herself. I just heard comparison is the thief of joy. And yeah, she was chasing something, craving something. This is a person who's realizing that the gas in their tank is entirely craving. And that when that is what's running your emotions and your moon space, right? You're nurturing your family, your emotions, your cycles. That is a selfish energy to be in. And just because you have feelings doesn't mean that you have empathy, because this is a person that has been involved with other people and has told themselves that they're the partner and they're the empathy, and that because they have all these neurotic, anxiety-ridden feelings, that means they're a soulmate. It means they have some healing to do. And I think this person is recognizing that, because none of these feelings are empathetic. They're all very self-absorbed. And, this person can turn this around. They can get healthy in this space. But I think that this is somebody who like would point the finger at other people and say, well, you don't understand me because you're like very cold or something. When I feel like people will get kind of, she might be recognizing this something here about this masculine energy where he's like gotten kind of cold because, I think there's something like he doesn't like her. He doesn't like the energy. It is not like reasonable or something. Something here is like not, but she was justifying it and saying, well, I have feelings and you don't, when that's not really true here. That's not really true here. The health and the quality of the feelings that have been going on here, she's putting all feelings in one basket, which is if you have feelings, you're an empath and you're warm and you're nurturing and you're caring. And so that can only ever be correct. And we don't have to get curious about our feelings and correct our behavior and consider the way that we affect other people. And also this is a person who I think gets sucked into, have you heard might makes right? Well, this that's not their view of it, but it's like my feelings are facts. That's like this person feels like their feelings are facts because I feel a certain way. I don't have to so this person will have arguments with people and they will be like, well, I don't know, somebody went into the bathroom and they're like, you went and you made out with so-and-so. And they're like, I went to the bathroom. And they're like, you should apologize to me because I'm having a feeling. And the other person would find that very difficult to deal with because the root of the issue is they shouldn't have to apologize for something that they didn't do. The root of the issue is this person's delusional. They're seeing things that are not existing and they're behaving very badly and they don't know how to self-regulate. And so the only way for their feelings to go back to normal, according to them, is for somebody to apologize for something that is a total delusion, never happened. And that's what they feel. And it's like a power kind of move. And all of it is just avoiding, challenging their feelings and say, sometimes the solution is you've got to calibrate to reality. And then the path will become clear. This person kind of doesn't do that. They just double down and they use their feelings to co-sign any of their, I just heard entitlement, any of their like entitlements. They feel entitled to this or entitled to that. And then they want to say, well, you're not a good person because you are not a slave to my feelings. My feelings are the tyrant around here, kind of a thing. But I feel like this person is kind of realizing that slowly. And it is like a tower moment. It's like a shock. And I feel this person, I don't know, they're processing. They're like frozen. This person's kind of like frozen. They can't believe who they actually are. They can't believe that they've been so... I really feel this is a person, like I said, they have these feelings that are more on the neurotic side. They're very self-absorbed. They've been misclassifying those feelings for a very long time, saying, because have feelings, I'm warm. Because I have feelings, I'm empathetic, but they're not. And I think they're realizing that they've actually behaved very badly and that they've used the fact that they have feelings to just co-sign all of their entitlements and justify all of their bad behaviors, when in reality, this person's been in the wrong quite a bit in their relationships and it has not been fair. And somebody here is like actually gone because of them. They thought maybe that was a wish fulfillment as well, but a lot has gone wrong because I really get that this person's also in the wrong place. Like wrong place, wrong time is what I'm getting. Like we all have heard of like divine timing and stuff. Well, things don't kind of work out that way for this person because they're not like where they should be. They're not like on the right path because their feelings they're the first victim to their feelings. I'm not trying to like excuse this behavior, but their feelings just have run them off the road. This is also a person who would need to learn that feelings and intuition are not the same thing. But I feel like I've been talking for a long period of time and I'm just going to leave that there. But this person's like totally having a tower moment. I don't know who this is. If this is a person that like interloped in some kind of relationship, if this is somebody in your family, maybe for some of you, you feel like this is you. I'm not entirely sure. So take this however it resonates. But if that resonates, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Bye guys.